What is going on here? Travis, where you at?
Right here. What's up?
Oh man, you got a ton of stuff out here.
Yes, sir. My name is Travis Cox. I'm with TLC's Minibikes on Facebook, and I'm a mini bike builder. Find me on TLC's Minibikes on Facebook. They can find me on TikTok under TLC's Minibikes, Instagram, same, and they can find me on YouTube under TLC's Minibikes. I work as a maintenance technician on the side at a warehouse, keep everything running, but what I love to do is the mini bikes. So really, if I'm not at work, this is what I'm doing.
All right, so let's walk through some of these bikes. Let's start up here. What do you got here?
This is my Nomad bike. 2 years ago, it won a trophy from Rick Watson with Busted Knuckles. It was his favorite build at that time. Sean Harris, he come up with the design of those forks and frame, and he actually hit me up, and he liked what I built, and he said, let me send you a frame and forks and build it. And I said, well, how do you want it? He goes, it's yours, do your thing. So I did, and I got carried away. And when I got it from him, I told him, I said, look, since you're gonna show that kind of confidence in what I do, I said, I'll take it to a bike show and see what I can do, and won a trophy, first one I've been to.
That was from Rick, right?
Yeah, Rick Watson, Busted Knuckles.
And having a builder tell you something like that is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the podcast too. It means a lot more. Especially Rick, man, he builds nice bikes, super nice bikes. So having him like it, and you know, there's a ton of bikes out there. For having him pick it, man, it meant the world. This was my first attempt at a show bike. First bike I ever powder coated. The orange is paint, but it's got a built 224 in it. I stole the exhaust off of it, so I've got to find another exhaust for it. But yeah. Always wanted a motor box. Finally found one. I wanted to slam it. I definitely slammed it. Got some GoPowerSports wheels on it, the 10-inch billet wheels. And all my stuff has Brad Hill tanks. He does works of art when it comes to these tanks. But that's got a built Wildcat motor on it with a big valve head. It is a little rocket. This one, like that one, I wanted a doodlebug. So I got my hands on one. I made a Superman bike. It had it on Marketplace, and it was a pretty nice little bike with a very mild built motor. But I found a guy that wanted it, and he had a box full of GoPowerSports parts, about $1,500 worth of parts, stage 4 racing head or stage 5 head, I don't know. It's a big valve head that all of it had the price tags on it. It's about $1,500 worth of stuff. But I traded him that bike for that motor that's sitting in that. So yeah, there's $1,500 just sitting there on that motor. But this thing at about 65, it wants to wobble. These are these heavy duty suspension forks y'all have. I'm buying them to put them on most of my stuff, but I'm gonna put a steering stabilizer on it. These little bikes with the small wheels, they tend to want to wobble. You get at real high speeds. This one, a trophy from Jack Ramsey, Minibike Coalition, another builder. This was his favorite build at the Pool Star Picnic.
This was a lot of people's favorite build at the
Yeah, I think it might have taken the popular vote, except the fact that I was about 2.5 hours late. So there had already been over 2 hours of voting. And it's got wheelie tabs on it for a reason. It will jump up.
And you said you put built motors on everything.
Yes. Every single one of these bikes have built motors. That's a built 223 with a big valve Wildcat head. Got a Norman Racing clutch, or a Premier Stinger. That's what's on that one. And this was my attempt of doing something I've never seen. This is a BT200X, and when I did my Mega Moto 212, which we'll look at here in a bit, I took the front suspension off because I put the premium front end on it. So I cut the neck off of this, put a bigger neck, because these Mega Moto 212 front suspensions, they're super heavy duty. So I put the Mega Moto 212 front suspension on it, and then I cut the back of the BT200X off, and where I put the swing arm on my Mega Moto 212, that's what this is. I attached it into here, and it's slid up in the tubes, plug welded. It's super strong, but that allowed me to get rear disc brakes because it's the Mega Moto 212 rear end, and it stretched the bike the way I wanted it stretched. Got a Brad Hill tank at the house for that, and that's a built 224. It's not a like 265 cam. It's not a massive build, but it'll scoot down the road. It'll do the speed limit without blowing up.
That cut looks stock though. It looks like it was built that way. It came out great.
I did build it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I got to finish it up. Like I said, I got the tank, the chain, and that thing will be ready to roll. And then got my drag bike, which I will be running that this year at the 660 if I don't blow it up before then. Justin Reynolds with Saw Daddy Racing. I went to visit him in Kansas, and he sent me home with that frame and forks. Said him and his boys got bored one night, so they put it together in the shop, and it sat there for a couple years. So he threw it in the back of my trailer, and I said, man, I want to build it. Well, I was going to put a small motor on it, enough to burn the wheels off and do cool videos, and he said no. So that's got a very, very nasty motor in it. It's a motor for drag bike, and it's got the Juggernaut with the stage 3 springs and tuner kit in it, so it'll engage at about 4,500 RPM. So when it takes off, it's going to rip. I got to hold on. Also going to get a steering stabilizer. And then my Godzilla bike, like I said, this thing it's a blast. And because of the 459, I put the GoPowerSports front suspend or front brake kit on it, so I had enough stopping power.
Is that gold too?
What do you mean?
The brake?
Yeah, I painted it.
Heck yeah. I was like, look at
man. I took a pin, a gold pin, and actually put gold around this too.
That's awesome.
I get carried away. Yeah, this was a black light. I did that with a paint pen. But yeah, this is just fun. This has got more fabrication in it than most all my bikes because of that rear end reinforcing everything. It was a lot of work, but it is fun to ride.
How did TLC Minibikes come about?
Well, Weatherford is just west of Fort Worth, and there wasn't a lot of people that I knew that, rode bikes. I got into it because my boss and a supervisor up there had a couple bikes. I couldn't find people to ride with, so I decided to start a group and, just try to get it out there to find other people. And it took off. Now we get, 20, 30 people show up to a group ride, and we'll either do a ride outside the city limits, around the lake, or out in the country, staying out of the city, don't want to lose our bikes, or we'll meet up at a motocross track. But that was why I started it, was because I wanted to get other people to ride with, and it took off. After my first build, people seemed to like it, and it made me just want to do more and more, so I just kept going with it.
How long ago was that?
A few years ago, yeah. It wasn't too long ago on the group-wise.
So was that your introduction into mini bikes, or was there did you have it as a kid, or?
No, I had a bike when I was a kid, a dirt bike. I didn't really have a mini bike. I'd been given a mini bike, like I said in the podcast, it was a crate full of mini bikes from an uncle. He worked me all summer long like a dog and then handed me milk crates full of stuff that, I was, I don't know, probably 5th or 6th grade. So I didn't know what I was doing or how to do it, but dirt bikes is all I had. And then, like I said, got to doing the mini bikes, and man, I love building them and seeing what I can do with them. And now it's become 17 bikes now, and I try to do the next one better than the last one, and it's hard to keep up with.
17 bikes in. So do you remember your first one?
Yeah, it was a green Baja Warrior. It came out from underneath a guy's carport, completely rusted up, motor was shot, chain all wouldn't even move, wheels tight. I mean, it was a frame and the fenders and the fake tank. And I ended up putting a little peanut tank under the fake tank. It looked like a full-size tank because I like the look of it, but it acted as a real gas tank. And I just put a nice paint job on it. I did a build on a 224 motor, and man, everybody they acted like it was something. And I was like, man, I didn't really try to do anything, and So it made me feel like, well, maybe I'm, you know, I got something here. So
First build I ever did on a motor too, 224, little street bike. Made my own front brakes on it, cut my own brackets. It was my little cruiser for quite a while, but got to keep the original one.
This is where you just story bike. You don't work on any of the bikes.
No, this is, initially I was going to do that, and then I realized I wasn't coming in here and doing it. So
Yeah.
that's why I got an air conditioning storage unit for my bikes. That's a buddy of mine's bike I got to do some stuff on, and just parts that I've accumulated over time. But no, I finally got a little shop back at my RV. When we go back there, we'll check it out.
Are these the paints you use?
Yeah, this is some of it. I have totes and totes of them back at the RV also.
Were you into customizing before mini bikes, or was this like?
yeah, I've always loved to fabricate and build stuff. Cutting things up, welding things, built smokers, tables. I used to do like I don't know if you ever seen them when that horseshoe art came out. People taking horseshoes and railroad ties, and I've always loved to create things. So yeah, it's having those skills helped with the mini bikes though. And then my dad, when he was alive, he was a mechanic his whole life. So when I was little bitty, I remember I was in second grade. He had, these days people get arrested for this stuff, but he said, hey, come out here and work on this lawnmower, a little Murray lawnmower with a steering wheel. Had a spark plug on the back. And of course he said, here, hold on to this. He cranked it over and it lit me up, and my mama screamed at him. But it's all, you know, it was all good. It was all in play. And I did it to my son when he was old enough. So it's not child abuse. It was fun. But yeah, I got the mechanical side of stuff from my dad. So starting to work on these little motors were pretty easy to take on and figure out. So
I noticed in the group, I mean, yeah, you had all these mechanical skills or whatever, but the reason people like your bikes is the artistic side of it and the paint and everything. Did you pick up any other skills doing mini biking?
I hated painting. I really, truly hated painting. Still don't like it very much, but I'm very OCD. If I have something in my head that I want it to be, that's how it's got to be. In fact, if I have to wait a month to afford the part that I want to go on there, then that's what's going to happen. It's going to get pushed back a month. I can't let things be. And I actually had a neighbor tell me one time, she said she was amazed because me being a man, every time I talked about the colors of what I wanted to do on something, you know, she was questioning it like, you know, you're a man, what do you know about colors? And she said that she was completely shocked that, you know, the colors I chose went together and stuff. And you got guys out there that they don't really care about the flashiness, and I do. Man, I want it to be a certain way. I want it to look better this time than it did last time. And it's got to be the way I want it to be, or, you know, I just got to have it a certain way.
Do you have a favorite build so far?
I really love my little blue Nomad bike, the one that won at the Pool Start Picnic the year before. It has a lot of extra stuff on it. And then my trike from last year, I really liked it because RPC Plasma Cuts, Tommy Reinhardt, he's down in San Antonio. He's the one that makes that trike, and you can order it welded. But I built a motor for a buddy of mine, Donald Anderson. He sent me the trike. We just talked about it, and one day it's on my doorstep, and I was like, wow. And it was the DIY kit, which is just a box of bent tubes, pre-bent. But man, that's a lot of work in putting those together without having, because you know, like Tommy, he has a jig table. He sets it all up because he's done a million of them, puts it in place. Like Montoya, everybody else that does frames, you know, they got the jig table set up, which I have one now. I'm gonna start working on my own frame. It'll be a ways down. I got more stuff I have to buy, but man, I got appreciation for these guys that do these frames, because I did all of it on a big piece of aluminum, thick aluminum plate, 4x4, and it was sitting on top of a roll around trash can at my buddy's place because he had really nice welders, and I wanted to weld, you know, clean. Before it was just flux core. So I'd take everything to his place when I, you know, really wanted to really clean welds that, you know, didn't need to be cleaned up. But I did that whole frame over there, and it was a lot. It was a lot of work getting that thing straight and right. That bike's one of my favorites too, because it took a lot putting that bike together. Like I said, you got some guys out there that, oh, well, they assume that, oh, you make a flashy bike, but does it run? out of the 17 bikes I have, 16 of them, they're all built motors. They all run. I can't ride them all, of course, but they all run. Yeah. So.
Do you have a style you gravitate more to, like drag versus off-road?
I like the off-road, but I just made a couple hits. You can see it on my group. The drag bike, in fact, it's in the back of my truck right now, but I made a couple hits with it the other day, and whew, man.
I saw you on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna race it myself. In fact, my buddy Justin Reynolds with Saw Daddy, he goes, man, we could put that on methanol and get a little more out of it. And I said, well, that's fine. And he goes, and if we put a 95-pound jockey on it, imagine what it'll do. Because I'm 260 pounds, and watch the video. I mean, I was at the other end of the street in a matter of a few seconds. It's quick. And my first pass, I didn't give it full throttle. The second pass, I hit full throttle, and that's when the wheel come up on me, and I got back down and got back in it. But man, the feeling it gave me, I want to take it over to Yell Belly. And I told him, I said, oh, no jockey. They're going to start a big boys class, and my big ass is going to be on that thing. So.
So you're ready for a 660 then?
Yeah, if they're going to have a big boys class.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely want to.
Let's say somebody is new to the community, whether they're a kid or an adult, and wants to get into mini biking. What advice do you give them, and what suggestions do you have for a bike?
Well, I mean, if it's a smaller kid, of course, a smaller bike. Yeah, the Mega Moto 80, that's a good one. Doodlebugs, motor boxes. But if you want to play off-road, yeah, the Mega Moto 212s, the Hurricanes, MB200s, those are the best. And once you get on a bike that has rear suspension, that's what you want to ride. Now, if I'm on the street, that's fine. But yeah, if I'm going to be off-road, it's got to be rear suspension. Find a group too, and YouTube. I know some people say, well, don't always count. There's a lot of good information on YouTube. You know, if you're wanting to do a governor to lead, if you want to work on your stuff, you can learn a lot watching YouTube.
What are the first 3 mods you're doing on a flip bike or any bike? You know, someone just starting out.
Normally, if it's got the jack shaft set up, the old chain and clutch, that comes off. I throw a torque converter. I'm a big guy. If you're a bigger guy, torque converter. Don't mess with clutches. You'll burn them up all day long. I know there'll be guys, well, you don't know how to set them up. Okay, that's what it is. Now, governor delete, that's a good thing. Everybody wants more speed. Now, if you do that and you don't have the money to put a billet flywheel and a billet rod on it, get a tack gauge. And you know, just watch your gauge. You know, what I tell people when they buy my bikes that have been governor deleted and don't have the upgrades, if it sounds like it's gonna blow up, let off of it. Don't keep it pegged going down the road at 55 miles an hour. The motor's not built for that. You know, that's why you got it for $500. You know, so you can have a nice little blip bike, fast bike, do a governor delete. You don't necessarily have to have that stuff on there, but pay attention to your RPMs. But it's good to put that stuff on there. So that would be the first 2 things, is a billet rod and a billet flywheel.
So what's one thing you see people do immediately and is pretty much overrated as a build?
On a build?
Yeah. Like what's an overrated custom thing that people do to their
Pulse pumps.
pulse pumps?
Pulse pumps. If your gas comes out above where it goes in your carburetor, leave the pulse pumps alone. You don't need them. You got gravity feed. You don't need it. Now, if your gas comes out down here and your carb's up here, yeah, you may need a pulse pump. But that's one thing I do see a lot of people, and I did it. First bike I ever got. I thought it was cool, all them hoses and stuff, and I put one on, and it's actually still on and it runs. But 90% of the time they're complaining about their carburetor. It's not their carburetor. They don't need the pulse pump there. They're pushing way too much, you know. That's probably the only thing, because I'm one of them people that, upgrade. So I don't have an issue really with any of it. This is a Yerfdog spider box, and it has a fully built 420 big block on the back of it. These come with those GY6s.
I had to take the swing arm off the back, gut it completely, and completely rebuild the swing arm for that 420 to fit. But she's on there, and it's got that $700 780 driver that y'all sell. That's what's going to run it. This thing will, that's the gas tank, over 6 gallons. That's a battery box. It runs the, it's a motorcycle lithium battery. That way, I could put an alternator on it, but it's too easy just to put a floating charger like you do your battery and charge it up. It's, in fact, it's race car switches. You flip this up, hit that. And that's for starting it. They don't have no gas in it. And then it's got Bluetooth. This is the GPS 80 bike right here. These are the spacers that y'all build so that you don't have so much axle. I upgraded, these are 15 millimeter axles, which come with that premium front end. Taylor, shout out. He gave me the right neck bolt to be able to fit this on the Mega Motor 212. It has a spacer on this side with a bearing too. Also, that way you don't have so much axle sticking out on both sides of the wheel. Because you'll end up like this one. Before I put the bearings in the back, I blew the bearings out of the back of this thing. That's got a 24 horsepower 236 on it. That motor, a buddy of mine, Sean Harris, built. I build most all my motors, but I bought the kit from him. He had the gauge warhead, and I was like, you have it all there? Put it together. So, and then on the back of mine, y'all do these spacers, the thick ones, but the tariffs had that stuff waiting. So I used the 2 spacers that you can buy, and I put a bearing in each one of those, plus the bearing in the wheel. Wow. So there's 6 bearings going across the back. And that will be what I race. 2-gallon tank. It's got the weld-on chain guide. It's got the TC Brothers. That's a heavy-duty tensioner. And then this is one I ran last year. I didn't race, but I rode it around a lot. That's the Hurricane I got from GoPowerSports. There's a lot of fabricating in this because before they didn't have those thicker bushings and stuff. So I had to build everything and make my own bushings to get the brake rotor out where it goes, and same thing with the sprocket on the other side. Because these 10-inch billet, the GoPowerSport wheels, they're a lot more narrow than the 8-inch that come on it. So you have to do something with it. And that was another thing we do with these too. And everybody that runs these that's going to be in that race, I would get the longer bolts, these hubs, put the longer bolts, and then put nylock nuts on the outside of them, because after I ran this for about 4 hours, every one of those Allen bolts I could take out with my fingers, and that's the hubs. So, but that's because we're running them a way you're not, those wheels are not really made for these bikes, but they can be, and now they are. And then that's just a little street legal scooter I have. That's a fun little bike. I mean, I was having problems with my old white Ford that I had, and I needed something that was street legal, because everybody's like, well, you got so many mini bikes, ride it to work. And I was like, no, my mini bikes are flashy and they're gonna pull me over. Yeah. And probably like, hey, we're gonna haul this in. That way they can show people and shit. But yeah, this is my little shop. I never had one before. All these bikes that you see and all the bikes that you saw in the storage unit, they were all done outside, in the dirt, in the heat. All these paint jobs and stuff, besides the powder coat, it was all hanging in trees, like legit hanging in trees. Well, we'll look at this one real quick. This is my little patriotic bike that I got for sale. Same thing again, I love the GPS mag wheels. And those are those 15-inch Ultimate street tires they sell. This is just a little 224 Governor Delete. It's not built. You don't want to build a motor on it because people on Marketplace are cheap. They don't want to pay what things are worth, but it's got a red chain. I staggered the paint. You got blue rim here, red rim on the back, blue sprocket. I just red, white, and blue everywhere. And then you remember the Nomad, the front shield? That was the original one I cut out of aluminum. I was gonna make it myself. And I cut this out with a angle grinder and a cutoff wheel, and then I shaped it with a flapper. So I had that, and I was like, you know, that'd look good on the front of that. So that's what I did. This is a project I'm working on. You're actually the first one to see this. Oh, nice. This is that heavy duty racing suspension, which is gonna work out perfect. These are adjustable where you can adjust your ride height, but you end up with the shock sticking out above. Yeah. That bothers me. I would rather put the shorter fork in it and be able to put it down here. I'm just OCD about things, but I cut 3D panels on it here, put these here. I won a RCF lowrider kit, the DIY kit, which is in the back of my truck, and these wheels and tires came with it. I thought they'd look good on it, so I changed the 15 millimeter bearings to 12 millimeter, and I'm gonna have to figure out the spacing because, man, these wheels are narrow, so I'm gonna have to bring this out with some bushings, bring out the brake bracket with some bushings. But I was gonna buy the Amazon gold recoil and pull start, but I decided screw it, so I just painted it to match. That's the tank for it. And then this is the motor in process. It's gonna get plus 20 rod, 265 super cam, billet flywheel, flat top piston. I already put stainless steel valves. I went ahead and painted the valve cover to match. Oh, and there's this is the Busted Knuckles Award. I painted it.
Nice.
And that's the award I won this year for the trike from Jack Ramsey. I bought some billet risers for it, which will be this man in the sunlight. This is freaking bananas. Yeah, it's insane when the sun's out. So I say I do everything of my stuff. This had a motorbox seat, but the Goldzilla bike, this gold and black, I bought this material from Walmart. So I took the motorbox seat I had, and I sprayed the glue on it. Yeah, it's gonna go perfectly on that bike. I got a lot of different things. I love that Jack Ramsey cut that for me. I like stickers too. My refrigerator I used to have, it went out. So instead of just throwing the refrigerator away, I cut the panels off. It takes a while getting all those. Yeah. That's like even my toolbox. I got a lot of room on here, but in fact, it's got a lot of y'all's new stickers. I found these. I love this sticker. I found it at Walmart. I put them on a lot of my bikes. I keep them because I like them. Nice. A buddy of mine, Tommy Reinhardt with RPC, he come up with this clutch guard.
Oh, is it engraved on there?
Yeah, that's the same thing that's on the trike.
Nice.
The clutch cover.
Yeah.
So he made this to send me one.
How'd you do with the 180?
Well, I didn't do too well. My buddy, me and Justin, we rode together. He took the first lap. I took the second lap. It was just chewed up, big rocks everywhere. And I had a bike in front, and I was thinking, man, I'll wait until they clear. But no, I just went up right behind them, and one of them hit the other one, and both of them went down. I jerked the bike, and I ended up over in the weeds, over the top of the bike. I rolled it back down the hill so I could get another run at it, got the bike fired up. I got back up the hill, and I finished the lap. But in the process, I twisted my ankle pretty good. That was my one lap, but I did complete the lap. I didn't have to haul the bike in. And then Justin did 4 more laps after that. I would have liked to have done more, but I got volunteered for that race. Yeah. I didn't get in that race for a reason. I'm not a racer. I don't claim to be a racer. I wasn't claiming to take anybody out, but I tried. And I made a lap in the race, and he did really well. So no, it was a good time. I had a really good time. And we got to ride a lot while we were out there too.
So. Probably got to meet a ton of people too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Fanny Freckles, met her. Some of the people from the group, Luke, Jeremy, Chastain, a lot of people from far away, they came down just for the 180. And of course, all the regular guys, Montoya, Rick, Busted Knuckles, man, Cars and Camera out there, David from Black 66. I met him a couple years ago, super good guy. That is probably the best thing about the mini bike community is it is a community, it's a family. For the most part, everybody will help anybody out. Like my group, I'm pretty stern about stuff. If you get a newcomer in there and they're asking a question about, something simple, a governor delete or something, the minute I see anybody being wrong in the comments towards them, talking down, they're gone. And I don't want that in my group. People are just getting started in this stuff too, and you don't want to discourage them. you know, make it to where they're like, well, screw this, you know, I don't even want this bike anymore, you know, I ain't gonna listen to that crap. And they shouldn't have to listen to it. Not everybody knows everything. I don't know everything. I learn stuff all the time. Every time I build something, I learn something. So yeah, just be kind to one another. But for the most part, most everybody they're really, really good people.
What are you looking forward to most in 2026 as far as like events or builds that you have coming up?
Pool Star Picnic, of course. I love it. But 2 years in a row, I've won something. So I got to come up with something crazy, and I'm working on something crazy right now. Yeah, I've posted stuff about it. I took a air compressor tank and I cut the backbone out of a Baja, and I welded the air compressor tank into the backbone. So it's now part of the frame, but it's also the gas tank.
Oh, did you post a picture of that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's got live axle tabs stretched, and I've got some really nice wheels set up for it. I'm gonna get the heavy duty front suspension from here. It's gonna be sick when I'm done with it. I got a pretty badass motor set up for it, and I just got to figure out my paint, because that's got to stand out. So
Yeah.
and then I have some other ones. There's a lot of time between here and there. I may be working on another drag bike.
You learn anything from mini biking that helps you at work or vice versa?
Nah, works. I used to do some pretty heavy duty industrial maintenance, automated equipment, and wiring up PLCs, pretty intricate stuff. It took a lot of thinking. I'm in a warehouse now. I repair some lights, and you know, it's really simple stuff, you know, forklifts, stuff like that. So yeah, the mini biking stuff, I mean, I guess the more I weld and do stuff like that, the better I get at it, you know. So that might help cross over, but nah, eventually I want to be able to quit the day job and be doing this full time. That's my goal. Because they say if you can wake up and do something you love every morning, you're set. I want to be set. So I keep playing the lottery, but that ain't working.